You are now listening to Mike's Opinion, Logic Unleashed.
That's right. You are now listening to the Mike's Opinion podcast. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. How are you doing? You know, I always want to know how you doing out there. You doing all right? I hope you are good. Summer is holding on. You know what I'm saying? We still in August right now, 2023, and it's hot. You know, I'm from New York, but I'm living here in Texas, suburb of Dallas, and it's hot. It was 110 degree hot with the heat index like 115, 116. They ain't playing. Climate change, maybe, I don't know. Listen to the climate change episode. I think I got 2 of them out there. Go check those out. But yo, I hope you're doing all right. Really, sincerely, I always mean that from me to you. I hope you're doing all right out there. And if you're not, I hope you find a pathway to okay, because there's always tomorrow. You know, Annie, shout out to Annie. The sun will come out tomorrow. Those clouds cannot last forever. So today is the world famous update episode. You know, I do one at least one a month. At least I try to. It's just stories that, you know, I find intriguing. You know, I don't do gossip here, fluff here. I don't do none of that. This is for the intellects. This is for edutainment. You know what I'm saying? I want to educate you, inform you, and entertain you all at the same time. There's plenty of fluff out there. I like to fluff sometimes, but 90% of the time, okay, maybe 87. No, let's say 90. I like things that educate me and entertain me at the same time. I like edutainment. Shout out to BDP and KRS. That's the first time I ever heard that. But yeah, so without further delay. Well, first of all, hold on. Y'all know I usually have my regular Mike's Opinion t-shirt on, because my wife always dragged me when I got this t-shirt on. She laughed at me, and I get it. It's kind of laughable. And by the way, you know, speaking of t-shirts, support the show, please. Like, share, comment, follow, subscribe. Again, let me say that show a like. Hit the like button, especially if you're watching on YouTube. Like, share, follow if you're doing it on any of the socials. Subscribe, very important. It's just a little click. Take a couple of clicks. Would you do that for me? I'd really appreciate that. Comment, let me know. I like the feedback. You can email me, mikesopinionshow@gmail.com, or hit me up on any of the socials. You know, I don't mind. I appreciate it, and I will do my best to get back to you in a timely fashion. All the links in the show notes on YouTube and in the episode, wherever you get your podcast. But you can support the show financially if you like to. There's GoFundMe out there, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. If you want to send me just a shoebox or a big box full of just stacks and racks and make my day, and really support the show and help me blow the show up, because advertising is very expensive. New microphones, cords, just the cords, yo. The cord, look, I'm not even going there. Cords wear out relatively quickly when you use them regularly. And I need your support. So just shoot me an email. I will send you my mailing address, and you can mail that to me. It'd be greatly appreciated. But there's a link to buy t-shirts. You could buy this t-shirt if you like. Just my other one that I normally wear. There's a couple others. I haven't done a whole lot. If you want to submit your designs to me for any t-shirt, really, but the Mike's Opinion podcast, I do not make hardly anything off of these t-shirts, really, to be quite honest with you. But so I can't say I can compensate you for your design, but as long as it's your design and you're not going to get me in no trouble, then I would, you know, possibly put it out there on the store so you can get your props. Of course, I would give you props for it, and you know, the recognition who made the design. I would, you know, let people know. So if you have more designs, they could come to you. But anyway, this t-shirt, I don't know if you can see it. It says Mike's Opinion. What Mike what Mike's Opinion. I guess this is mirrored. Mike's Opinion. That shouldn't be this hard. Mike's Opinion. So now you say, okay, It's Mike's Opinion Podcast, right? Aha. Aha. So this way it gets a little funny because for my design, now I designed this, right? And I understand, after I design, to me, I get it. You say, oh, Mike, what are you talking about? I'm talking about this. So, what do you see here on this t-shirt? This is Mike's Opinion. And you see two pictures. What do you see there? Huh? Okay. All right. If you didn't get it, a lot of people don't. It's Mike's Opinion Pod. That's a pea pod. And what's this gentleman doing? Cast. He's fishing. And what do you do when you fish? You cast out your bait on your hook to hopefully catch something. So it's Mike's Opinion Podcast. Huh? Do you get it? I get it. And when I made it, I thought it was clever. I thought it was, needs interpretation, some explaining, some mansplaining, some Mike-splaining, perhaps. I don't know. But, I'm trying, y'all. Just trying to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if the podcast ever blows up, it's been what, April, June? It's been April, May, June. So it's been like 3 years, a couple months. I ain't going nowhere, though. I'm not going nowhere. Maybe it's going to take 20 years. I'll be on my deathbed. I finally got 100,000 followers. It only took 50 years, but I did it. Who knows? I don't know. But let's dive right into the world famous update episode. And I'm gonna go ahead and start. Put on my glasses. It's got my notes here. I'm getting a little long in the tooth, even though I shave. I don't know how your beard guys do it, yo. I shave my face for the summer. It's too hot for a hair hat on my face. I just can't do it. It's too hot. But normally the gray will be here. I might, rock. I don't know what style I'm gonna go with for the winter, but I usually let some hair grow back for the winter. But the first thing on this list is, I drop on Wednesdays. Ooh, pardon me. Today's gonna be no different. I hope I should get this out. So it is my understanding that our former president, Donald J. Trump, will be turning himself in tomorrow, Thursday. Maybe they're gonna switch it up and go Wednesday. But is Trump going to jail? It sure seems like my brother, right? We used to debate this like years ago. He was like, yo, Trump's going to jail. I was like, man, ain't no way. Billionaire boys don't go to jail. It's a very, very rare occurrence, right? When they do go to jail, they got the dough, they evade arrest, and they definitely avoid successful prosecution that ends with them in confinement in the prison for any long length of time. So it seems more and more likely. I have other episodes kind of pertaining to this, but Fulton County, Fannie and them, that's the DA. They not playing. DOJ, Department of Justice, they're not playing. They are coming after them. And a lot of people on the right say, because we got to choose right, left, conservative, liberal, blah blah blah. But they're like, this is election interference because they just don't want him back in office. Mike's opinion, Mike, has not seemingly been directly affected in my life, regardless who's in office. And I've been through several presidents. And the most recent one, my life didn't change when Biden was in office, which he is now. My life didn't change when Trump was in office. My life didn't change when Obama was in office. My life didn't change when Bush senior or junior was in office. When Clinton was in office, it's my life has gone on. I live my life. Now, surely, some of the things that trickled down to me probably have indirectly affected me, but really, it really hasn't mattered to me. And the only reason I vote in national and statewide and local elections is because of the people that came before me that sacrificed their blood, sweat, tears, and their lives just so I would have the right to vote. Frankly, I think it's an exercise in futility and it doesn't matter. My vote really, they say your vote matters. I don't think my vote matters, especially as soon as it went electronic. And I'm like, yo, Mike, you digressing again. Yeah, no, I digress. I digress all every episode because it's all connected. You know what I'm saying? I digress. This is what I do. But it's connected. It's pertaining to the topic. But I'm like, yo, my man might be going to jail because this latest Rico case, yo, listen, a lot of y'all regular followers and listeners and watchers, first of all, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. Truly, I do. Um, but y'all know, I was in the streets in New York. All right, I'm just gonna put it like that. This isn't the first time I've heard term RICO, which, by the way, RICO stands for racketeer influence and corrupt organization. If you call it a RICO charge, yo, it has a long reach. RICO does. It can reach out. And Trump and his 17, 18 code Ds. Oh, when you got that many co-defendants, somebody's bound to cut a deal and start chirping. I don't mean to laugh. These people's lives, and even though they are who they are, it's hard not to you gotta find the humor in everything, right? Even when it's difficult, it's hard at times to do that. And my understanding is, Trump, he don't smoke or drink or do no drugs, but he may want to start. But here's my concern. You know what I'm saying? They said in Fulton County they're gonna treat him like any other prisoner. Usually that means you get in the, front to the side with the joint holding up, and you're gonna have to wait in this holding cell while we process you, and then you can get out. Now, I don't know. I'm not that patriotic. I'm not that into the respect of the office, right? The because that's what a lot of people say. The presidency isn't a person; it's an office, it's a legacy, and that they should be afforded certain exceptions. What do you think? I'll be very excited to know what you think out there. Like I said, hit me up on any of the socials. Email me at mikesopinion@gmail.com. Comment on YouTube what you think about that. Do you think, excuse me, a president should get treatment if he broke the law and is getting booked and was indicted? Do you think he shouldn't see the cuffs or the inside of a cell and they should make preferential treatment, special treatment? Or do you think he should just go down like me or you or anybody else that got caught up and had to get processed through the system before we could bond out? Speaking of bonding out, I just want to let you know there's a lot of cities, Austin, LA, there's a lot of places where they are like doing the no cash bail, like, or no bail, no bonds. You know what I'm saying? And they wild. And I'm thinking this is probably to be expected, right? When you change in a system like this and criminals know, oh, I could get arrested and just get right back out. It's going to be a while that happens. But I need to do a whole episode on this. I know I'm digressing again, but if you choose to get rid of the bail and bond system, you have to couple that with incentives for people not to do criminal shit. That's just my opinion, because criminals going to do criminal shit. I know a lot of them. I know a lot of dead ones, a lot of incarcerated ones, a lot of ones that ain't never getting out. And there's people out there that just like to do criminal shit. There's a whole reason, there's a multitude of reasons behind it. Anyway, I was just thinking about that when I, was thinking about Trump bonding out and his cold deeds, Giuliani. Mark Meadows is trying to move the case to the feds. He said, yo, I was just doing my duty advising the president. I shouldn't even be prosecuted. So, hey, look, moving on. Guess what's back? Uh, uh, uh. Guess what's back? Y'all know, or maybe you don't know. But if you don't know, I love football. The NFL is back. Preseason is popping. And they already suspended one game. I'm going to come back to that in a second. The NFL is back. The hard hits, the touchdowns, the running plays, the sacks. Yo, I love football. I love the game of football. And, football season is a justifiable reason to eat chicken wings every Sunday. I don't do it on Thursdays or Monday or the occasional Saturday game, but on Sundays, almost every Sunday during the football season, I'm rocking some wings, maybe some French fries, maybe not. Sometimes I just skip the fries. I have some wings, and I got some wifey, gets the celery sticks and the carrot sticks queued up for me, nice. And yes, I prefer blue cheese. Miss me with the ranch. Miss me with the ranch. But what I'm doing, the Asian joints, the Cajun joints, the buffalo, or the plain joints, or whatever flavor, I got the blue cheese right there. Scoop, boop, dip that wing in there. Delicious. And I'm not a beer drinker no more, but I think I might take up beer drinking again. I'm getting old, I'm not old. Still feel strong, you know what I'm saying? You really couldn't see that. But I am strong, though, strong. But I'm not trying to get that beer belly. But once a week, couple of brewskis, huh? Because that complements the wing joint, just right. Wine don't do it. The hard liquor. I don't really drink. I really don't drink anyway, but I've had my drinking days. Survived the drinking days without a DUI, DWI, or anything like that. So, but yeah, so I'm happy the NFL is back. But I wanted to get back to something, and I've made a whole episode on this. You can find it. But a preseason game, and I need to preface this by saying I'm not an insensitive man, but I am a man on earth. A player, and I don't have the names or the game or when it happened, but it happened last week, I believe, or maybe even this week. I don't know. It wasn't this week. It was last week. Anyway, a preseason an NFL player doing a preseason game got injured, carted off the field injured, and they suspended the game. And I'm like, what? Again? So this is what we doing now. We suspending games, which we ain't gonna play it probably. And I know it's preseason, but they did it when Damar Hamlin had a heart attack and coded his heart stopped on the field, basically died on the field. And even then I was like, yo, listen, hold on. I'm not insensitive. I'm gonna say it again. I love planet Earth. My regular listeners and followers know and watchers know that I am a peaceful man. I'm looking for utopia. I'm anti-violence. I wish violence didn't exist. The National Football League, the game they play, is a violent game. We can't touch the quarterback no more. The helmet technology has gotten crazy. If you get your bell rung and can't remember your name or what day it is, it's called a concussion, and you will sit your butt down on the bench. It wasn't like that back in the day. He say, yo, Mike, yo, you a hairy knuckle Neanderthal. Maybe. But let's play ball. No disrespect to whatever happens, whoever gets injured on the field. Now, in Mr. Hamlin's case, like I said, he died. But there's nothing we can do. He's in good medical hands. He gets carted off the field, goes to the hospital, and gets the medical attention he needs. What are we doing stopping the game? Is this what we're going to do the whole from now on? Oh, somebody was on the cart. They got their bell rung, their leg broke, or whatever the case may be. We're not going to play anymore in respect for them. Miss me with that shit. And I know it ain't going to last too long because you got sponsorship contracts. You got all kinds of big money flowing. You know what I'm saying? So the money ain't going to allow this to keep going. We ain't going to be suspending games because concession stands is closing, surrounding restaurants. I guess they may still get the outpouring or maybe not. People might be bummed and just want to go home. But, hey, play ball. No disrespect again to the injured. Get the medical attention you need. I hope you're going to be all right. But let's stop the stopping the games because somebody got injured. You know what I'm saying? So NFL is back, baby. Are you ready for some football? Let's go. That's what I'm saying. I'm ready. So, like I said, I read stories that catch my mind, that catch my eye. I read a lot. I'm a bit of a information hound. I don't want to say just news because I get all kind of information, science, musical information, all kind of stuff. But like I said, I like educational stuff. I do check out the news. But this story caught my eye for a particular reason I'll get to after I tell you about the story. But July 31st of this year, in a zoo called Bright Zoo in Tennessee, July 31st, a giraffe was born. This was the second one in within a few weeks of each other at this same zoo. And you say, oh, Mike, what's special about a giraffe being born? First of all, if you've never been close to a giraffe, I strongly advise you do that. I am not an advocate of zoos. I'm just going to put that out there because Mike of the Mike's Opinion podcast feels that zoos are just animal prisons. I have never seen a happy animal at a zoo. And, I've done episodes on I always interweave stuff in episodes. So I don't know if I did a specific episode on this, but I'm the Dr. Doolittle of my circle, of my family. And they don't speak English, but I understand and can communicate with animals and always have been. I love nature. I love animals. But here at the Fort Worth Zoo, it's the Dallas Fort Worth area. It's not twin cities, but dual cities within very close proximity to one another. I have children. I have a young son, and it's been a while now, but we went to the zoo. And the Fort Worth Zoo, you can feed the giraffe. They have the big raised platform, and you can buy some food, and the giraffe will come and stick their ridiculously long tongue and big lips and eat the food directly out of your hand. I don't know about you, but I'm in awe of the planet and everything on it. Earth is amazing to me. Earth is a living fantasy land. The landscapes, the atmosphere, the environment, the creatures on this earth, and I just think it could be so much better. I'm not gonna go there, but the giraffes, they'll let you rub their neck and they'll look at you and they're like, "Yo, what else you got? Go get some more food, yo. I'm starving over here." Giraffe is an incredible animal. This baby was 6 feet tall when it was born. And of course, I didn't look it up, but they get crazy tall, like this. Like, oh snap. If you were standing on the ground next to one, crazy long necks, they fight with their necks. If you ever seen a giraffe fight video, treat yourself if you have never seen one. I'm not encouraging you to go, consume violence, but it's wild. It's wild. But fascinating creatures. But this giraffe in Tennessee that was born on July 31st, maybe the first of its kind since like 72, like 60 years ago, over 60 years ago. Giraffe born with no spots. He's a solid colored giraffe. And they say he may be the only one of his kind on the world, in the world. I learned a lot about giraffes doing this research. I'm not going to tell you all the stuff I learned about like their blood vessels and what the spots mean on them. You can look that up, but I will tell you there's 4 different types of giraffes. This one that was born in Tennessee that has no spots is a reticulated giraffe, and there's also the Maasai giraffe, the northern giraffe, and the southern giraffe, and they have subspecies under those. But there's 4 basic types. And the reticulation has to do with their spots. That's why they're called reticulated giraffes. Their hearts are like 25 pounds. They're born like 6 feet tall. It's crazy. The giraffe facts are bananas. And people, you don't see one, right? Some people go their whole life and never see a giraffe in person, right? And many of us in America, we don't have that opportunity unless we go to a zoo, an animal prison. Anyway, so me being me, an intelligent person, and a black man, couldn't help but wonder, like, this giraffe is going to experience giraffe racism. Is it giraffism? I don't know. The other giraffes could be like, different. What's up with you, son? Where your spots at? What's wrong with you? I hope not. They don't have a name for him yet, but they thinking about naming him. I had his name here. Oh, Kapiki, which is Swahili for unique. I think that's a good choice. Kapiki. And I hope Kapiki, if they end up naming him that he don't experience no giraffe racism. That they don't, because nature, your mama will reject you if something ain't right with you. We don't do that here, and I'm not going there on that today. But in nature, where animals, there's something wrong with you, they will kill you, eat you, or shun you. We don't have time for you if you're not healthy or regular. So much I want to say right here. Mm, mm. I can't get canceled before I get started, can I? Sometimes I think I'm already. Can somebody check if you know how to check? See if I'm getting uh, shadow banned. Could you see if the Mike's Opinion podcast is getting shadow banned anywhere and hit me up if you find out that to be the case? I'm thinking, yo, I should have more followers. I should be a little more enough to get some ads, even though I really don't want to read ads, but I should be out there enough after 3 years and like 160 plus episodes, yo. Come on, man. I know it's ain't for everybody. Like, yo, Mike, you talking about like substantive stuff, and it's just you. You ain't really. I got some joints with people I'm talking to. So, so I get it. I'm not doing fluff and crazy nonsense just to get clicks, baby. That's what I need to do. Start a new podcast with a disguise and just do wild, dumb, stupid shit. But I'm me. I can't even look at myself in the mirror. I just ain't doing it. Anyway, shadow ban. I know you're like, how you get from giraffes to shadow ban? Because that's what I do. Move it around. Move it around. But yo, there's some pictures out there of this giraffe. It's worth checking out. And like I said, I hope they ain't little, but Kapiki the giraffe don't experience no giraffe racism. That's my hope. Moving on. So I got a couple more stories for you that caught my attention. I should have said the giraffe story to the end because I always like to end on a good note. But I'm just gonna go ahead. So if you hadn't heard this story, it's a crazy story, and I wanted to mention this story because I'm a black man, and in the year 2023, it's just remarkable to me that this kind of thing is still happening. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I'm surprised, especially when it's this blatant. In Mississippi, and my crooked letter I, in January 24th, 2022, Demontario Gibson, 25-year-old young man, trying to get his hustle on, right? Working for FedEx, delivering packages. He's delivering packages in an unmarked FedEx truck, a Hertz truck, just one of these little rental box trucks. When suddenly a white pickup truck, surprise, a pickup truck in Mississippi. With two white guys, father and son, it happens to be, try to cut him off. He gets around them. He's driving. He sees the pickup in the back. In the front of him, and standing in the middle of the street, is a dude with a gun pointed at him. He swerves around dude. He tries to get away. 5, 6 shots get fired into the truck. Fortunately, they didn't hit him. Truck chases him out the neighborhood. Now, I'm not one to judge people on their name or guess what race they are by their name, but I will tell you that Mr. DeMontario is a black man, young 25-year-old black man, and the suspects in the case, Gregory and Brandon Case, are a white father and son. The information I can find on this case, and I could have dug up the actual case and all that and do that, feel free to do so. Had all the hallmarks of the Ahmaud Arbery case. A father and son go and hunt on the streets of their neighborhood. And their prey, the subject of their hunt, are black people. According to the information that I learned, the duo, father and son, didn't ask what he was doing, didn't try to speak with him. They tried to murder him. This case stood out to me for multiple reasons. One of which is just last week, a mistrial was declared when Gregory and Brandon Case, the white guys, were seemingly being brought to justice and going through the court proceedings in trial. And they were charged with attempted murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and shooting into a motor vehicle. But the case had a mistrial. And that's because the police department did not give information about the case to the prosecutor or the defense. I don't understand that. Do you understand that? I do not understand how they didn't get the information on this case. Now, the prosecution said they're going to retry the case because it's basically a technicality why there was a mistrial. But I was just bugging. Now, my brother used to work for FedEx, and they did him dirty. Dirty. I'm just putting it out there like that. And they tried to do this young brother, Mr. Gibson, the same way. First, they told him, yo, after this happened, we want you on the same route. The next day, young brother tried to do it for 2 days. He said he was freaking out. He's looking around his shoulders, anxiety, panic attacks. He's bugging because he's got to drive that same route where dudes, too, just tried to shoot at him and take his life. Can you blame him? So he went to FedEx like, yo, y'all got a desk job or something, and a work from home something. I'm stressing. I need support. Nope. Just back to work. He declined those jobs, one of them which was a part-time job, and they fired him. Then it's like, yo, before they fired him, they said, we'll give you 2 weeks off without pay. Without pay. But don't talk to the media. And here's where I'm going to digress for just a second. Journalists have been going through it. Maybe one day I'll get some journalistic credentials so I can interview some people for this podcast. I have no real aspirations to be a journalist. I don't really want journalist credentials because journalists, there was just a newspaper that was raided recently. I mean, there's just a lot going on. Journalists risk their lives to bring us or to bring things to light that otherwise would stay in the dark. You know what I'm saying? And multi-billion-dollar global companies tell you don't talk to the media. Why do you think that is? They don't want the story to get out. Because things change when the public collectively, our collectiveness, learns about stuff. You know why? Because there's power in our collectiveness. That's why. So after the story started gaining some momentum, because this incident happened in January 2022. It was over a year and a half old. And it's just coming to light now. The trial was going on, just hit a mistrial last week. So, the FedEx is like, all right, we'll give you workers' comp once the story started getting out, right? Because apparently, Mr. Gibson, Mr. DeMonterio Gibson, at only his 25 years in age, says, fuck y'all, I'm going to talk to the media because I know once the story gets out, people will know what's up. FedEx has acknowledged that they did fire him, didn't say why. For those of y'all that think we have overcome, that it is great out here for Black people, I have some information for you. It's not. We are far, far away from being accepted, it's subtle, little everyday things sometimes, or sometimes you could just be doing your job and people try to kill you just because of your skin color and the way you look. They don't know you, they don't want to know you. And it is my deep hope that one day people will take that type of hatred, or any hatred really, out of their hearts and stop teaching it to their kids. This was a father and a son. The father had to pass on. That son wasn't born with that hate in his heart. At least I hope not. Hatred is learned. It's taught. Good luck to Mr. DeMonterio Gibson. I hope you come out on the winning end of this, and I hope justice is served, because I don't, I've got a bird's eye view, a summary version of this case, the way it was presented in the news story, and it appears that Mr. Case and his son would serve society best by being off the streets and incarcerated, so they'll have plenty of time to think about where their hatred came from. Moving on. The last story, and I started to make a whole segment, right, with an intro and some audio and stuff, but I'm just going to say I'm not going to do the segment yet, but it's called the SMH segment. If I did a segment, it was going to be called the Shake My Head. Because when you hear the story I'm about to tell you, you just go, humans, y'all. What's wrong with us? We do some wild stuff. So this final story is about a Wisconsin teacher from Brown Deer, Wisconsin, and she taught at the Pilgrim Lutheran School in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. And I'm pretty sure I messed that up. Wauwatosa. That's what it looks like. Wauwatosa, perhaps. And excuse me. Taisha Bolden, 34 years old, teacher at this Lutheran school. Taisha. And of course, I'm imagining all of this is alleged, what I'm about to tell you, but she was arrested. And there's evidence. So I use the word allegedly lightly. But 34-year-old Taisha was kicking it with one of her 14-year-old students. Yep. Now, I don't know if you read the news or watch the news or get the news on your phone or tablet or whatever regularly, but I do. And it really seems like the frequency of these types of stories, teacher romantically or sexually involved with student, is regularly occurring. Older teacher, younger student. I think just recently I read one that was a 77-year-old teacher Yo, listen, I'm. mm, Sounds like I'm being judgy. I'm not trying to judge. I'm not trying to judge. Do you boo? Do you? In this case, Taisha's a female. 14-year-old student was a male. There are nude pictures found on his phone, seemingly of Taisha's breast. Over 2,000 text messages between the two in a period of about, I don't know, 7 months or less. I'm shaking my head because we've seen this story. Don't you know? Don't you know? Anything you do on your phone is not private. You might think it's private. It's not. It can be obtained, even if you thought you deleted it. Here's a tip. And it's a tip for all the wrong reasons, but if you're trying to get away with something, don't use your phone. Don't use your computer. Don't use your tablet. Wear disguise. Try to stay away from the traffic cameras. That's basic 101 tips if you're trying to get away with something. Get that burner joint. Something. Put some kind planning. But of course, those that do those kind of things think they're not going to get caught. Taisha rolled my man in her car, little young 14-year-old boy, to this wooded park, did what they did, and dude was like, yo, can I get some money and a gun? Taisha said yes, and bought him a Glock for his 14th birthday with ammunition. The shake my head segment. Mm, mm, mm. So allegedly, not only are you gonna have sex with your student, you're going to buy him a gun. What do you think he's going to do with that gun? Something smart, something adult, or something, let's say, that a teenager might do with a gun. We've all been teenagers, and I'm not saying all teenagers, but a lot of teenagers do dumb shit. They stopped talking when dude hit her up for another gun and some money, which it's reported that Taisha gave him $1,000, and stopped talking to him, but she didn't get him another gun. Now, there's a photograph of Taisha. I did a little bit of digging. From what I could tell, I don't know if I had to write Taisha, but Taisha is not hideous. I have other episodes about age and age differences when it comes to relationships. Check those out. I'm not going to go into it here. I will just tell you this. It is unorthodox. I know what I was doing when I was 14. I was not a virgin, and I appreciated the company of an older woman. However, as Taisha recently found out, in Wisconsin and the majority of the United States and elsewhere, it's illegal. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm like, Taisha's put up her $2,500 and bonded out, and she's facing 40 years in prison because the judicial system in America is not playing when it comes to this kind of thing. Even though I know had this been me being the 14-year-old youngster, there's no way I would have perceived this as predatory or abuse or being taken advantage of. To me, it'd be a win-win. That's just me. Let me know what you feel about it. Okay, because I am a parent as well. I appreciate any and all feedback on any of these stories, and especially this one. How you feel? Do you think Taisha should do 40 years? Do you think she should get a slap on the wrist? Could Taisha, am I saying her? Yeah, Taisha, could she have been seduced? She had to be open, yo. Teachers, they say, don't make that much money. She bought him a pistol, ammunition, and hit him with a J. The D must have been spectacular. That's all I'm saying. Oh, hey. That's what I have for you today. And yo, like I said, I always welcome the comments, the feedback. I love it. Don't matter, good, bad, ugly. Send it to me. Bring it on. I try to read all of it. I try to get back to you as soon as possible. And don't do nothing that's gonna make me shake my head. I think he's smart. I want to see you get locked up. I should get locked up. Anyway, yo, I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're doing better than all right. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing magnificent. I hope you're doing marvelous. Spectacular. I hope you're really doing good out there. Holiday season is coming up. Colder weather's coming up. The NFL is coming up, as I mentioned previously. So, I always send out positive vibes to you. I wish the world was good, and let's do our part to make that happen. So, and that starts with you being okay, healthy and happy. So, I hope you're doing that. As always, I thank you so much for listening and watching. I ask you to support the show. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment, follow. And you hear everybody say it, right? Even the big shows out there. And it's because it matters. So your support is greatly needed, wanted, and appreciated. So thank you for that. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm Mike, and this is the Mike's Opinion Podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.